to 100% Animal Well, I'm gonna have to explore this massive map, collect all 64 collectible eggs, avoid this giant ghost cat, this cheeky gecko, this rude kangaroo, this eldritch abomination, okay, a lot of angry animals, learn how to fold actual origami, and hardest of all, not get lost every 5 seconds. I 100%ed the first well-type game. You start off with 4 flames slowly disappearing. Okay. 4 fires. What was that? Did you guys see that? There was like 1 frame of something. Desperately trying not to think about whatever it was I saw, I arise from my little flower and enter the titular animal well. I immediately find a secret in this transparent wall that leads me to a chest containing a clover egg. Eggs are collectibles found around the well, but don't seem to do anything other than just being a thing to collect. Irregardless, collectible shiny, and more collectible, more happy. From there, I decide to go back into the first room and follow this squirrel, where I learn that our little blob friend here cannot swim. But luckily, this doesn't decrease our life bar. From there, I climb up this ladder and continue following the path where I find this little vault that I cannot reach yet, so I'll have to return later. I head into this room over here and find a crank that I can turn. This raises a platform out of the water, allowing me to jump on it and hit this yellow switch. This lights up the first lock of the door, but to fully unlock it, I gotta find a way to reach the other 2 switches in the room. I discover this little passage hidden behind the vines, which leads me to the bottom switch, leaving just 1 left. I head over to the right and find myself a telephone. These will serve as the save points throughout my well journey. Before we go further, I wanted to mention this game does have the occasional flashing lights, so if you're sensitive to that, please be aware. Further over to the right, though. What the heck is that? Oh my god, I did not like that. What the heck? What the heck is that? He's evil, whatever he is. Is he following me? Oh, he wants me. What the? Why did everything go negative? And thus, my first death of this game is to this demonic blue square. After a few more attempts at fighting him, I realized that our little blob friend here is just a little baby and has no way to defend himself. Instead, the best option for our little baby blob is to just run away like a coward into this area up here. We've got some tricky jumps here, which lead us to the final yellow switch, opening up the door. Inside, we find a firecracker plant for us to pick. And while this may look like a weapon, for some reason, blasting an explosive inside an enemy lets them walk on by like it's 9:30 at Disneyland. However, the same cannot be said for our wicked little square friend over here, as he's afraid of the light. Throwing a firecracker will have him disintegrate into atoms. Like, dear God, I know he was evil and all, but this is a brutal death animation. With our conscience heavy, I can now safely turn this crank, revealing a platform to boost us to this ladder. In the next room, I find a secret corridor that brings me down to an unlit candle where our square friend once stood. No matter what I try, though, it won't light. I try pressing every button on it, throwing a firecracker, but just like that god-awful song in Rent, I can't seem to light this candle. I move on for now and discover a chest with a map in it. I plan to use this the same way I use every other map in a metroidvania, by glancing at it every 3 seconds, even when I have no reason to. I head up this ladder and see some demonic stone animals, this light bright bunny, and this room of bouncing mice. The rodents are guarding a switch that'll allow us to continue on down. This room actually requires you to do some cross-screen platforming, which I haven't seen in a lot of games, and the blind nature of it made it feel extra nerve-wracking. With the switch clicked, I fall into this Mario Galaxy looking room. I see the platforms are switching, so I go bup, then I go hit, yep, and then I go hit, and then I go hit, and then I died. Okay, I think I see now. Go here. Okay, I don't think I see it. After one untimely death, I managed to figure out the pattern the blocks are changing in, allowing me to move on. I fall into a room with a giant ostrich statue, but blocks are currently preventing me from going down. Okay, I guess I'd just go over to the left. Who is that? It's like a badger or something. Or beaver or some crap. Oh, where'd he go? He's like... he leaves the closer I get. I go over to the right and find a whole room of bouncing mice. And while this pattern may seem difficult to get through, if you watch closely, you'll see the mice in the middle actually go behind the background every couple rotations. I use that to squeeze on through and flip the switch. Oh, did it maybe clear some stuff up here? Uh-oh. I see now. I see now. I see now! With death narrowly avoided, we get introduced to a new mechanic that I'm gonna call bluebirds. Bluebirds will follow you no matter where you go, for better or for worse. Meaning while you can never fall off of them, because they move in sync, we can't move on to the next bluebird above us. Luckily, by maneuvering this middle one onto the wall, we can jump onto it and eventually hit the switch. This leads the way to this pink mouse section where we gotta thread ourselves through these 2 rows of mice while making these precise jumps. I'm able to achieve this on the first try and can now finally head down the ostrich hole. Ah, who the heck is that? What the frick's going on with his head? Thing is scaring the crap out of me. Stop throwing your head at me. Holy crow, that is so scary. Yeah, I guess all the promotional materials led me to believe this was going to be a cozy little silly exploration game. But this was my first of many realizations that this is actually a twisted horror game in the skin suit of a metroidvania. Wanna know it's scarier than a decapitated rat flinging its head at you? Being stuck in a dead-end job you hate, which is why Boot.dev, the sponsor of today's video, is here to help. Boot.dev is one of the smartest and most fun ways to master back-end web development, a career that has a median salary of $100,000. Unlike other online programs, Boot.dev's biggest goal is to make sure you're never never bored and look forward to learning every day, which is why the entire program is set up like an actual RPG, fit with XP, levels, achievements, and even quests. Now, I know not everyone has the means to pay for a membership right now, which is why boot.dev actually has all of their content on their website for completely free. While the paid version unlocks the interactivity and the gamification of the program, if you're just looking to learn or test out if this career is right for you, you can access that all for completely free on boot.dev's website. The program is set up to teach you everything you can about the Python and Go programming languages. And the program's designed to get you writing a ton of code, because the only real way to learn is to get your hands on the keyboard and actually do some coding. Click the link in the description box below and use my code ShawneeDo to get 25% off your first payment to boot.dev. That's 25% off your first month or even year depending on your subscription plan. So click that link below and start your journey to becoming a back-end web developer today. And thanks to boot.dev for sponsoring today's video. After clicking the 3 switches, the headless rat manages to come back and kill me, meaning I gotta go through all 3 switch rooms again. After speeding through those, I can finally advance on to the next section. And if you thought the rat was terrifying, then it might be time to change your diaper, as this massive ostrich is now seeking us out. Luckily, there's this little hole we can hide in, and what the heck? She's following me! Oh my god, this thing is terrifying! Oh my god, that was horrifying. The main way to avoid the ostrich is to go so deep into these holes that her lengthy neck has no hope of reaching you. Even still, you need to be extremely careful, as she can move after you've gone into your hole. There's one more left. Come on. Oh my god. Oh, thank goodness. Oh no, she knew where I was coming from. After clicking all those buttons again, I'm confronted with a giant hole with a chest on the other side. I attempt to jump across to it, but instead fall deep down into the depths below. I fall all the way into this area with glowing little caterpillars and also these yellow switches that I have no way to hit. But fear not, as a chest in the next room gives us our first major item of the run, the yo-yo. The yo-yo can be thrown out to hit faraway buttons or other objects. The coolest thing about it is, like a real yo-yo, it spins, meaning it can cling against gravity like it does right here to flip this button. Mastering the exact trajectory of this kind of thing can prove surprisingly difficult, as the spin can be kind of hard to understand. I like that it has some complex mechanics behind what seems like a very simple item on the surface. After flipping all the switches, we get introduced to this room that combines both the bluebird and the yo-yo, which doesn't prove too difficult, but I do learn that the yo-yo is able to pass through platforms here. I blast through a couple more puzzle-filled rooms before encountering this armored blue guard. He's blocking the way, and I obviously need to hit him in the back with my yo-yo to progress. The problem is that whenever I move, he turns with me, preventing a clean shot on him. Eventually, I realized that I need to shoot the yo-yo first and then move to the other side, let him turn, and then pull the yo-yo in to disarm him. After doing the same thing to the other guard, we can whack the button with our yo-yo, giving us a key. After taking out another set of guards, we get our second key, letting us get through this double locked door and reveal this tiny little area here. I see a detonator, and against my better judgment, I decide to activate it. What the frick? The frick just happened? Oh my god, so much just exploded. This creates a shortcut back to the ostrich room. Before heading up though, I decide to revisit this frog room I found, where I can now use my yo-yo to click both these buttons simultaneously, opening up the door to the frog. But no matter what I do to this little amphibian, I can't get him to open up his jaw. So I decide to head down this secret passageway instead, leading me to a chest containing a rust egg. I also find this room here with this parabola looking graph where each of the buttons move it in a different way. After a few seconds of fiddling, I manage to get the line passing through all buttons and grab myself a jade egg. Before going back to the ostrich room though, there's one last room I wanted to check out. Freaking kangaroo, man, what the heck? I gotta get out of here. After receiving that proper wall up, I head back through the ostrich room and find this glowing mouse banging against the wall. By flicking the switch a couple times, I can trap him in this corridor at the edge. There's a switch there that he continually hits, allowing the blocks to change and me to make my way across to a chest containing another key. Turns out this connects to the first area we entered, meaning we've gone in one giant circle. Follow that squirrel into this area with blocks that we can switch on and off. Making this jump to the final switch has me realize that this game is extremely momentum based. Like, even just running for a couple of pixels before your jump can make all the difference in whether or not you complete it. But after getting up there once again, I can jump down to the chest and grab myself a matchstick. Okay, so that's how I light those candles. Unfortunately though, I was only given one, so if I want to light these several I've seen around the map, I'll have to be on the lookout for more of them. I make my way past these herons and into the fish room. Why is he peeing? The cranks here change the angles of the panels, and after some tinkering, we can redirect the water straight into the chalice, unlocking the door. This gives us access into the bubble room, and this is single-handedly the most frustrating room in the entire game. Oh my god, I hate it so much. But that won't show itself until later. For now, we can just jump across this little bubble bridge and be on our way. After a couple more rooms of carefully timed jumps, we come across a kaiju-sized seahorse. Oh, he seems kind of nice, actually. He killed me? By angling his squirt in just the right direction, we can use his bubbles to rise to the ceiling and head through the door. And god dang, those bubbles are really nice for being able to jump to usually unreachable places. If only there was a way that I could use that power for myself. Bee wand. Whoa, I can make my own bubbles. The only catch of the bubble wand is that you can only have a single bubble on screen at a time. The wand is a huge mobility upgrade, and by jumping on bubbles, we can get all the way up to this otherwise unreachable corridor. In the next room, I find another one of those weird wall animals. I notice his eyes glow when I touch this flute-looking thing, but I'm still unable to affect him in any other way. I hypothesize that it could have to do with this switch in the top right corner whose opening is too small for me to access. I move on for now, until in the next room, something strange happens. What's that? Sound like Morse freaking code. Yeah, I'm gonna be confused a lot in this playthrough, aren't I? Speaking of, I'm able to use my bubble and this fan to get to the top of this platform. But after that, I'm stumped. Because of the angle of the platforms, there's no way for me to jump off of a bubble and still make it down to this platform on the right. So I spend a good long while just falling again and again and again. Seriously, this single jump takes me nearly 15 minutes to figure out. Finally, after all that time, I have a breakthrough. Look, you can stand on it for an infinite amount of time. You can just only jump off of it once. Oh, so I can actually just do this. Yeah, if you didn't catch that, it turns out that you can actually stand under your bubble for as long as you want. It's only when you jump off of it that it pops. With this new knowledge, I can easily get across the gap, making me feel like a complete fool for spending so much time on this. But you know what else would make me feel like a fool? Not subscribing to the Shawnee Dude channel. Please, just do it. I'm afraid of what's going to happen to you if you don't. I complete a lot of games on this channel. I promise you'll like the content, so please just subscribe before he makes me hurt you. Having now conquered the impossible jump, I can barrel straight into this secret passage and pick up another egg. I take my bowl down to the next room where I learn that I can actually use my yo-yo to destroy any spikes. I find this pipe shark that'll swallow my bubble if blown near him. If you then jump inside that bubble, the shark will send you through his pipes, teleporting you across the map. This one brings me to a room with a bunch of other pipe sharks. After some trial and error, I managed to unlock a chest holding another egg. With that done, I head into the bubble room, but instead of going across, I use my newfound knowledge of descending and find a whole room filled with fish that look like they're straight out of the Rainbow Fish children's book. Side note, did anybody else just like not trust people who were super into the Rainbow Fish growing up? Like they all felt like they were glue eaters? Like, do you not have any better literature on you, Tommy? Anyways, sorry, polar bear fans, sound off. If I head off to the right though, we can see those herons we passed over before. And boy oh boy, do I long for the days where there was a wall of separation between us. Because on top of having to try and make these tricky jumps across the lily pads, you have to deal with these stupid herons pecking at you. And if they hit you, you gotta go all the way back to the beginning. And while the herons might look menacing, the much bigger problem actually comes once you've gotten past them, as the jumps here are massive and you need to be extremely precise to get across. Luckily, after a few minutes of trying, I'm able to do it and grab myself the great egg, giving me the achievement for collecting 8 eggs. But this struggle pales in comparison to the true evil that is the bubble room, as now that we've conquered left, right, and down, the only way remaining is up. But to get all the way up to the top would take precision, timing, skill, and most important of all, the ability to not get disoriented during the screen switch. I know that sounds stupid, but this was far and away the hardest part of this room. The second you get to the peak of the room, you have less than a second to reassess where you are, which can often be hard as your momentum is preserved in between screens. I know that it seems like it should be easy. Truly, it's really just 8 jumps in a row. But this stumped me for 20 minutes straight, killing attempt after attempt after attempt. This took me so long that I got the achievement for popping 1,000 bubbles despite getting the bubble wand like 3 screens ago. Until finally... No! Are you joking? I had it! I freaking had it, man. In order to prevent that from happening again, I decided to place my own bubble right at the finish line. That way, by the time I climb up, it would be there waiting for me. I give it one last go, and... Yes! Oh my god! That took so long. At the top, I find a room with a bunch of Mario Galaxy blocks and some levers. After avoiding these fireballs that look straight out of the original Mario Bros, I managed to click the switch and finally open the door to the chest. Now, all I had to do was cross the gap once again and grab it. No! Hey, at least I come back up here. I make it across and finally grab myself my much-deserved Mystic Egg. I head back to where I started, and up above I discover an egg room, which displays all of the row I've managed to steal. Entering gives me the ability to put stamps on my map, sure. And since I've collected 8 eggs already, I'm permitted access into the 8-egg door. Inside, I open a chest giving me the animal flute. My beautiful Sonata manages to wake all these raccoons in the room, allowing me to use their heads to progress to this top entrance. In here, I find another wall animal and this gray organ-looking thing again. So I decide to play my flute, and much to my surprise, the eagle opens up its beak and allows me in. I enter a room with all the other animals I've seen before, and upon playing my flute, all the ones I've seen open their mouths, allowing for fast travel across the map. This is hugely helpful in getting around, as we all know metroidvanias and backtracking go together like pretzels and Chex Mix. They're the worst part, but would it really be the same same without it. Down below the ladder, I get a glimpse of a giant fish, and upon approaching me, he repeatedly emerges from the water. At first, I try serenading with my flute, but I soon realize otherwise. Okay, hold on. I think he's telling me like a pattern to play. Yes, the fish is actually showing me a code to put into our flute. So by watching him and then repeating this code, right, left, down, up. Whoa! Find another way to get around. Whoa, is that like a warp whistle? What the frick was that? Wait, so I can like warp back here whenever? Cool! I don't know why it plays the freaking inscription sound, but with my newfangled warp spell in hand, I decide to continue following a nearby squirrel and stumble upon a strange-looking shrine. What's this? Take disc. Found a disc? What the heck? Oh my god. He's still following me! Ah! I hate this thing! Get away from me! Please! What did I do wrong? How do I get rid of him? Oh, what if I did this? But he can't follow me in here. He did. Okay, let's get him far away. What the frick was that? I don't hear the cat anymore. Okay, never mind. Oh, crap. Ah, I'm gonna die. Freaking cat. Get away from me. Get away from me, cat. Please. But I can only run away for so long, as this cat is inevitable, and I meet my untimely demise. The cat's murderous claws even managed to steal the disc off my body. I decide to leave the disc in the shrine for now and continue my trek upwards. Oh, there are animals in this well. Hey! After making my way through some dark rooms with my dimly lit yo-yo as my only light source, I find another demon square. I rip him apart with my firecracker and light a candle over his spawn point so that he never comes back. I nearly sprint past this dog into a switch room, where I'd only be able to progress if I had a remote way of flicking switches. I shrug it off for now and head into the next room, and I'm given the mock disc. Now I just gotta get back to the cat shrine. Blocking the way is this dachshund, and as a dachshund owner myself, I'm sure I'll be able to easily avoid— Oh my god! He's following me! Oh my god! This is horrifying! No! Luckily, despite dying, I kept the mock disc, so I can head back to the cat shrine and swap the two discs out, finally giving me true access to the disc. The disc can be thrown horizontally and has infinite momentum. If you time it right, you can even jump onto the disc. Oh, sick. It can also be used to great effect to distract the countless dogs that populate this area of the map. Back in the switch room from earlier, we can use the disc to cross the gap and get us into this skull-looking room. Here, we need to give these two raccoons a grade 3 concussion, as the disc continually pushes them onto the switches, giving us another egg. Another cool thing I learned about the disc is that it can hit switches for you. So here, where there are two switches next to each other, you can throw the disc between them to repeatedly switch it on and off. This allows you to cross the otherwise impossible block chasm. The same can be done in this upper room, which allows me to pick up a match. I immediately put this to use and light a candle in the same room. I'm not really sure what lighting these candles does, but it's clearly important somehow. I advance on through and come across this plinko-looking formation with a button at the bottom. I desperately try to fit my yo-yo down there, but no luck. I do accidentally wake up this crow, though, who goes on to kill me, so joke's on you. Clearly, there's something I'm missing, so I head down here and grab myself another match. Then I blow up these rocks, connecting these two parts of the map. I take the pipe shark down and grab these two barely hidden eggs, do a sick disc spin over these doggies, and light another candle. I continue progressing on until I find myself in a room where it's too dark to see. I realize that I can actually spam my animal flute, as the music notes that are made actually provide a small bit of light, giving me a general scan of the unknown room. This reveals whatever this horrifying abomination is. Here's hoping that just a bit of set dressing and not another unworldly goon that'll be sent for my head. And in the next room, I find another one of those vault-looking things, but I'm still unable to do anything about it. So I just grab this room's egg and move on. Down from there, I find the chubby raccoon, who I need to lure to these switches using my supple body and this box. Luring him all the way to all four opens up a door, which gives me a key. After doing some frisbee back and forth with this dog, I managed to make my way to another warp animal, a bear or fox, or with its mouth open, it kind of looks like a platypus. To the left of the platypus, I find a room with a massive body of water in it. Thankfully, I can ride my disc over to the other side and collect my 16th egg and an achievement to go along with it. Unfortunately, going any further seems completely impossible right now, so I put a pin in this. I managed to get to this area up here, but it turns out that the vines actually completely stop both the disc and my bubble wand, so I'm unable to go any further. I feel pretty stuck in this area, so I decided to just warp home and go in a different direction. Along the way, I stop in the egg room and rewarded for collecting 16 eggs with the ability to write on the map. awesome. Looking at the map makes me realize that I should head back to the kangaroo area from before, as my new bubble wand makes it now possible to jump up there. In here, there are all these dog blocks that are rising upwards, and you need to maneuver around them to avoid getting squished. Oh, and I died. Which I do not. I make my way through again, but I'm not quick enough to reach the chest, until I realize that I gotta go through this down path and go under the platforms, grabbing myself the desert egg. After some more careful platforming, I make my way over to this rat running on a wheel. Using the yo-yo, I can force him to run in the opposite direction, reversing the flow of all the rat forms. Get it, guys? Like rat platforms? We can take the rat forms downwards, leading us to a pipe shark who brings us to this area with a bunch of caged cats. Now, this game definitely doesn't have a ton of story. I mean, there's not a single line of dialogue, but there is something going on here. While upper areas of the well felt more naturalistic, this entire area is cold, metal, and some of the animals are trapped in cages? And why are none of the other animals attempting to save them? What is going on here? Over here to the left, we have these moving platforms that we need to squeeze through to get up here and flick this button with our yo-yo. However, we can't progress further until we reverse the rat forms once again. While this would normally be impossible, by going into this little alcove here, we can fly through in a pipe shark, reverse the flow, and then return. Now we can hit the last switch, making our way through the door. Here things get even weirder. Like there are all these crates that I can only assume are transporting ostriches? But as we see in the next room, ostriches are usually much bigger than that. Are they just transporting ostrich meat? And how are there more chained cats? Irregardless of the story that I'll eventually have sum up to me in a game theory video, I can change the direction of the boxes by luring in the ostrich. From there, I can head over to the left where I find this weird half-pipe looking thing. I try every tool in my arsenal, but nothing seems to change this thing. I know it seems weird to get fixated on what just looks like a giant hunk, but this game is intentional in almost everything it does, and this is just so completely out of place. I decide to come back to it later. For now, I make my way up top and click this switch off. In combination with holding this switch down... Oh my god, what the freak? That scared the crap out of me. Run, run, he's coming! Oh my god! Please, 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 please. Okay, jump, jump, little jump. Holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. Oh my god, it worked. Oh my god, I just drowned that ostrich. I kind of feel bad about that, actually. That didn't feel good. But with the ostrich's noble, sacrifice, the door has now been opened and we're able to collect our first flame. With that completed, I make it my goal to start tracking down the other flames, so I head back through the fish warp and find this long drop now revealed after the blocks were switched. I can float down on my bubble and slap the switch again with my disc, revealing a whole new path. And continue on until I find 3 switches that need to be continually held, which I, as one little blob, am unable to do. Luckily, 2 giant penguins slide out of nowhere to help me with this problem. This opens up the door to another water bouncing puzzle. In order to reach all of the cranks though, I need to solve some short puzzles. This one here was notably fun because you have to throw your disc in this little slot and then let the fan whack all the buttons for you. After some tinkering, we managed to redirect the water and fill up the bowl. What the freak is that? Oh, I died. Dude, this gave me Junimo Kart flashbacks. In the very next room though, we need to use the whale to our advantage and have her shoot her whale juice at our disc, raising it to hit every button. Fair enough. After successfully making the descent down, we come across the sea stallion again. Only this time, instead of shooting bubbles, he's just shooting plain old water. You need to angle these panels to shoot into these little water jugs, and then goad them into shooting right at your panels. It can be a little tricky trying to get him to the flip side, but overall, the fight's pretty easy. Filling all the cups opens the door to our second flame, the bee flame. Find the bee flame, seahorse. What is B? I take the pipe shark back up to the surface and return to this room from earlier. With my newfound disc, I can remote hit the lever and get past the wall, giving me the virtual egg. While exploring some older areas though, I discover something strange. Is this new? Is this a new thing? What is that? For whatever reason, these evil-looking faces now started popping out throughout the world. I assume it has something to do with all the flames I've collected? Is this one of those, like, main character is actually the bad guy kind of games? Irregardless, I find this holiday egg and then take my disc across the gap to enter a new, more deciduous area of the map. Further in, we find this raccoon, and with some well-timed switch flicks, we can plop him onto this button. Nice! Oh my god, that felt really cool. Wait. Oh, I was like, I did that all for a fruit. Nope, I did it for a future egg. In the next room, we're supposed to do this long snail puzzle to hit the button, but I decided to skip the whole thing and just use my disc to get over there. This opens the door to a brand new area where... but with just a single firecracker, I'm able to take them all out and continue on. This takes me into the next room with this colossal chameleon. What is the chameleon doing? Oh, I got Aiden! Yes, to defeat this boss, we need to click all of the buttons of the room and avoid being swallowed. You need to lure this raccoon for some of your jumps, but the yo-yo's power still controls him for whatever reason. The tensest part is when you're standing on this floating platform. As if he tongues you, you've got nowhere to really run or hide. Luckily, I'm able to avoid his tongue and his eye blood and make it on to the next room. Our reward for heroically scampering out of that room is this game's next major item, the Slinky. The Slinky is an item with weight, meaning it can be used to push down buttons. Additionally, it moves like a real Slinky would, so you can send it down inclines and it'll move on its own. The Slinky opens up a ton of possibilities, as it's the first item we have that stays in place. Like here when I throw the Slinky onto the switch and then whack the other one with my yo-yo. Heading into the next room, and this evil face problem has gone even worse with it now covering entire rooms. After that, we're introduced to these rising blocks that activate when something touches them, allowing the Slinky to travel all the way around this section and flick the button for me. This unlocks the final teleport spot, making it significantly easier to get around. I solve this quick Plinko puzzle before heading into a room where scary faces and cover the entire floor. You need to throw the Slinky down to activate the rising blocks, but since the Slinky keeps moving, if you're too slow, you'll fall into the face pit, so you need to be both speedy and precise. I obviously am not, and meet my swift demise, but on retry, I make it through and grab myself the shadow egg. From there, I head upwards. What does this do? Okay, I will not click that again. Okay, I'm learning my lesson. I learned my lesson. Even though I learned my lesson about the crow button, my Slinky takes the exact wrong path down and... Oh, oh no, it's over, man. Oh, I gotta go all the way back. I learned from my mistake and managed to not hit the crow switch this time, opening up a path below for me. Down here, you gotta race against this snail to avoid being squished by the boxes, which I luckily am able to achieve on the first attempt. But this is multiplied to the 10th degree in the next room, as you've got a much harder race against your own Slinky. After a few tries, I'm able to nail it and then head into another Slinky race. This time, you try to drop it and get your yo-yo to whack this button before it falls to the ground. After a few more Slinky puzzles, I find myself in this room. Just go flop. Nope, just go. Oh my god, what the frick? What the heck is that? They're like weasels, I guess? Scared me, man. Yeah, whenever I drop my Slinky down, the weasels will be right there to break it. This room truly breaks me. I tried dropping the Slinky down for so long, but no matter where they are, they manage to bolt straight to my Slinky and destroy it. And it's not like you just need to drop it either. You need to drop it and then have it slink to hit both buttons. This doesn't simply annoy me, it breaks my spirit. Aw, come on, you jerks. These guys suck. I hate these guys. Oh, you jerks. Attempt after attempt after attempt go by and I just cannot get past these blocks. I've been doing this for 10 minutes now. But I hate to say it after this long rant on how hard this actually is. Very genuinely skill issue. Because the solution to this puzzle is actually quite simple. You see, while the weasels like the Slinky, what they like even more is the yo-yo. So if you just drop the Slinky and then whip out the yo-yo, they won't even try and approach it, letting you easily get through. I seriously cannot believe that took me so long to figure out. This brings me into this room with a bunch of emotions etched into the wall. I have no idea what this means, but I know it'll be important for later, so I make sure to write it down. In this room, to get across the spikes, I need to jump on the raccoon's head and guide him with my yo-yo. This gives me the achievement for walking the dog. With that, I can hit the last switch and get access to this area's boss fight. Another one? I gotta fight this guy again? Some fight. Yes, we must fight the chameleon again, only this time there's no running away. The key to this fight is to try and trick him into accidentally gobbling down the snails that sludge around the arena. The hardest part is definitely the fact that most of the arena is covered in these evil smileys again, meaning I have a very small area to work with. But after a few attempts, I start to get the hang of things. Oh, come on! Oh my god, I think if you stay in line with the snails, you have a better chance of living. Oh my god, okay, please. He's gonna do his glaucoma thing. Dodge, 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 duck, dive, and dodge. Oh, nice! He hit another one. You fool. No! But on the very next attempt, nice. Oh, okay, the dodge. Boom, walk, 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 walk. Oh, yes. You just gotta walk really close to the snails. W. Yeah, get wrecked. Woo. That was a toughie. With the chameleon defeated, the path's clear to grab our third flame. V. What is V? What have the flame letters been so far? B, V, G. Big friendly giant? It's such a stupid joke. It's not even funny. From the flame spot, I gain access to a giant chasm, and I'm not talking about your mother. This hole runs through the entire center of the game's map, all the way down to the starting area. But there are secrets on the way down, like this match that I'm able to pick up. We've got just one flame left, and it's near the area with the fox platypus that we saw earlier, so I head on over there. There are a ton of new puzzles that we can solve now that we have our slinky, letting us grab a couple eggs from the upper reaches of the map. In terms of progression though, we need to head to this room right here, and add this one to the group of devil rooms, because this might be topping the bubble room for me. Basically, you need to throw your slinky down here, which will cause each block to rise, and then you need to jump to the next one before it reaches the top and starts moving again. The first 3 jumps are pretty easy, but the last one truly humbles me. I don't know if it's like placebo effect from all these vines being here, or if they actually do affect my jump speed, but I really struggle here. It only takes me a few minutes to get across this time, but trust me, this is far from the last time we see the block room. I make my way through some rooms with some weird dog statues until I finally reach the flame room, but it's locked away just past these blocks. By falling through here and flicking the switch, the path to this strange looking disc room opens. Master disc? Just assuming master, but it could be anything, I guess. It could be the mukbang disc. Much to the chagrin of the group of my subscribers who still believe I can read, it takes a good 3 minutes for me to realize that this is definitely talking about the mock disc from earlier. So I need to once again remove it from the shrine and bring it all the way back to the top corner of the map by the shrine. However, this is easier said than done, as it's quite the trek to get to the mock shrine. Alright, let's get the mock disc. Right, left, down, up. Okay, then we gotta immediately hop in here. Boom, go down. This part is going to kill me. Come on, and jump. And jump. And jump. And fudge! This is how 99% of my attempts end up. Warp to the platypus, throw the slinky, fall at the vines. Really, it should just be as easy as before, but something about the haunting meow of the cat makes it impossible for me to focus. Yes! Oh my god! I didn't think I'd ever get this far. What's this? There's a dog now? What the freak is going on? There's a dog? Is this good or bad? I can't tell. Are they keeping the cat at bay, maybe? Come on, no, I finally made it. Please don't die here. Oh. After around 30 minutes of attempts, I managed to finally make my way to the last room. Come on. Okay, come on. Come on. Okay, down, up, hit the switch. Okay, we got this, come on. Yes! Please. Yes! Holy crap, I can't believe that was A, actually it, and B, that I did that. Oh my god, that was so stressful. Yes! Finally! That should be the last one, right? P-flame. Now that we have the 4 flames, we can return to this room from the beginning and place the flames into the corresponding statues. Upon placing all 4, this crevice in the ground begins opening up into the animal well. Oh. And things in the animal well are not super groovy. While there were some other haunting looking areas in this game, this is on a totally different level. All the rooms are dark and dreary. There are those evil looking smiley faces everywhere. There's this disturbing hum in the background. And did I mention the evil shadow creatures? And unlike most of the demonic beings in this game, they're completely immune to firecrackers. In less disturbing news though, I managed to find a hidden crocodile, unlocking another mouth in the warp room. Cool. Back to hell though, and the only way to progress on is to press these 3 switches to open this door up top. And despite the circumstances, the puzzles here are actually really fun, requiring us to use all of the different items we've picked out through our time here. Like in this room where you need to drop your slinky, race to the bottom, throw your disc down here, use the bubble wand to get up, all in time to hit the final switch with your yo-yo. After completing all 3 rooms, we unlock the door which reveals a chest containing the lantern. A late addition to our utility belt, but helpful nevertheless. The lantern's main purpose is, well, to light things up. And while this might seem like a purely cosmetic change at first, the lantern has a ton of uses. Most notably, its light temporarily dispels those evil smiley faces, allowing you to walk through areas that they are otherwise completely blocking. You can use the lantern to slither down this slimy corridor, which brings me into this pretty large looking block room for some reason. I don't know where I'm going. Looks like there's a lot to do here. What the hell is that? What is that? What is that? Holy crap. That thing is horrifying. I can't even focus. It's so scary. So now I need to run through all these rooms, completing their puzzles, all the while this ugly behemoth follows me. But just when I hit my first switch and start to get the hang of things... What is that? He has a laser? What the frick? Yes, as if his ungodly presence wasn't enough, he has a giant laser ray that he can blast me with. Despite this, I managed to hit all of the yellow switches and make it through the door. It's a squirrel from the beginning. Why is he still snacking? This whole game, he's been snacking. Oh god. Okay. Blow it all up. I'll blow it up. I don't think he likes it. What's going on? Release the manticore? Like he wanted to die. What? Oh, I beat the game. Holy crap, that was scary. And as you know, the title of this video isn't I beat the final boss of Animal Well, so we still got a ton more to do. Starting off with the item that spawns in after the end credits, the house key. And yes, apparently the area right next to here is my house. Why did Blob Guy live down here in the pits of the shadows? And wasn't he just born at the beginning of this game? Have I been playing as a Nepo baby this whole time? But what's more surprising than all that is what lies behind our house. What the ever-living heck is that? What am I looking at? This is like Eldritch Horror. Hey, the squirrel! Found a stopwatch. What the heck? Why is the one ring here? What is with this everything ever all at once bagel thing? What is going on? I thought this was a silly bubble game. If we go further on, we see a little well-looking structure, which actually turns out to be the giant chasm from earlier, and the entire world loops around on itself. I take another look around the house and find a locked door, as well as a chest with a fanny pack. Also realize the giant clock is displaying the in-game time, meaning how long I've been playing on this save. Obviously, there are 3 doors that I can't enter, but even weirder than that is the giant 5 and 2 sitting at the top of the clock. What does any of this mean? I don't think I mentioned this before in the video, but Bigmode was actually kind enough to send me this game a week early, and while that was awesome, the flaw was that since no one else has this game, there's no wiki to look things up on. Not even any community members to bounce ideas off of. Everything in this game I need to figure out, I was gonna have to discover completely on my own. So that means we've got a lot of exploring to do. First thing I do is go back to where we first fought the chameleon to see that he is now gone. Behind where he stood is a chest containing an S medal. Currently, I have no idea what this is for, and I have no way of interacting with it, so I'll just sit in my inventory. After that, it's time to explore some past areas with our brand new set of toys. I head over to this switch area from before and can now clear out the floor with my yo-yo. On the other side is a match. I use a spare key I'd picked up to open this door by the groundhog and pick up a travel egg. Then I use my disc to cross this gap from earlier and pick up the fire egg. By falling down the well here, I can stop off to the right and grab myself the chocolate egg. Then over here, while messing around, I realized that for some reason, holding down the A button turns you into the protagonist from Tunic. I have no idea if this means anything or if it's just a cute Easter egg, but it still perplexes me. Back down into the headless rat hole, we can bubble up here to grab the aptly named bubble egg. Going back to the top of the rat hole, I found this hidden alley. The gap is super small, so it's pretty difficult to thread a bubble up there. So instead, I end up throwing my disc and jumping off of that. Aha! Holy crap. Wait, can you just use the lantern? Oh my god, I was like, how am I ever gonna get through this? At the end reveals the moon egg, giving me the achievement for earning my 32nd egg, halfway through the total eggs in this game. This also opens up the 3rd egg door, giving me access to a new item, the top. The top spins around the ground and can interact with objects just like the disc. It has the additional benefit, though, of being able to break through certain blocks in the floor, revealing entire new rooms. Not the most useful item, but cool nevertheless. I head up to the top left of the map, where I can find a candle I forgot to lit before. Oh my god. What the frick? Holy crap, what the hell is that? What am I supposed to do against this thing? I have no semblance of a single idea how to kill this thing, so I decide to just run away for now and come back later. Over by the mock disc shrine, I find the hidden passageway that leads me to another slinky puzzle. This one takes a couple attempts, but eventually I'm able to get through and grab myself the raw egg. I go over to where this chest was and find another secret room, where I walk the dog and then grab myself the Andrew Yang egg. On top of this snail puzzle I skipped earlier, I can use the disc to jump on top of the square and find myself an additional snail puzzle. It's just a matter of switching the blocks at the right time, which easily awards me the value egg. Back down in the Manticore lair, I find a secret room, and the first thing I notice are the emotions from earlier, each mapped to a direction of the animal flute. Only problem is, I 100% did forget to write that combo down from before, so I'm gonna have to go all the way back through the map to find it. But far more excitedly is the chest in this room. BB wand? What is the BB wand? You could put an infinite amount of bubbles down? What? What the frick? You can go bup. I can go bup. I can go bup. I can go bup. I can do anything, but how is this real? Really? And this was by no means an overreaction, as this is perhaps the single best item in the entire game. Having an infinite amount of bubbles at your disposal is borderline game breaking. It means you can go as high or as far as you want and basically anywhere on the map. I cannot emphasize enough how huge of an item this is. It can't go everywhere though, as I see the entrance to a secret room in the ceiling here, but because of the bubbles, I'm still unable to get up there. And that's not the only thing that stops me up, as down here I find another one of those skate park looking things, and these blocks with my face on it that I can do nothing about. Luckily, it's not all losses for the BB wand, as I can use it here to get past where the chameleon used to be to pick up the Razzle egg. I head back to the caged kitties and make a shocking revelation. What the heck? There's a 5-digit code I need to put into here. Yeah, apparently each of these cats can be freed if we find the hidden 5-note code for each of their locks. So I do what any rational man would do and immediately become so stubborn that I relentlessly try random codes for the next 10 minutes. And obviously, none of that works. But what does work is using the top on this little area here that reveals a secret passageway. From there, we follow it into a small room that seems empty until we use our lantern. Oh, look, a code! Oh my god. That's crazy. Upon entering this code back by the cages, it does indeed free one of them. But these 2 cats plus the other 2 in the ostrich lair mean there are still 4 codes to find around here. Luckily, I immediately find another code where the ostrich wheel used to be, freeing another kitty. In terms of the other 3 though, I'll have to come back later because I see hide nor hair of any more codes. I head back through the heron room as now with our bubble beam wand, we can reach the top of this corner passage and... What the heck? Freaking Celeste room. And I was not joking with this comparison, as this room is definitely a difficulty spike. You see, when you use the bubble wand, you shoot it out pretty far in front of you. So squeezing in bubbles without popping them or falling is pretty tough. After a couple tries though, I managed to get to the other side. Find a secret rabbit. What do you mean, It should say the. So slap another collectible onto our 100% list, I guess. And then realize that this room from the beginning of the game is mirroring the amount of candles we've lit on the map, meaning we've got just 2 more to find. I make an accidental discovery with my top in this room, and upon topping more of the pavement out, reveal this button that moves the box up. And this just might be the most confusing room I've come across thus far. I mean, it's clear I need to be on this block when it rises, but there's this giant chunk of wall in the way here. I tried using every single item on every single block in this room, and still, no clue what I'm supposed to do here. The end of a metroidvania without guides truly makes you question everything. Am I missing something? Do I need an item that I don't have to get through here? Are there even more items in this game after the final boss? Is that block looking at me funny? And why is there so much yellow wallpaper everywhere? And more attached to reality news, I discover I can kill old Adam Sandler over here by just throwing a couple of firecrackers at him. This doesn't give me any reward, so I have no idea if I was supposed to do that or if I just brutally murdered this guy for no real reason. After far too long of aimlessly stumbling around, I managed to come across the emotions once again, and by cross-referencing it from the wheel from the BB Wand room, I realized the code is actually up, down, left. Yep, it's the Konami code. I tried playing this code both in this room and the BB Wand room, but much to my surprise, it doesn't work at all. This seriously stumped me because, like, how could this not do anything? This so obviously does something. How many pins am I gonna have to put in things? I go back to where I found the yo-yo and manage to trick this guard into giving me the last match. I use it to light the game's last candle in the 4th zone, giving me an achievement. This also opens up a door in the candle room, revealing a pipe shark. He takes me to a chest with my 2nd medal in it, the E medal. Still confused as to what these medals do, I go around the map trying everything to get them to work, until I try placing it in the circle recess we saw earlier. Oh, I can place the S medal. Oh, nice. Oh my god, okay, it actually did something. I realized soon that the S in S metal actually stood for snake, as the next room's got a big ol' snake in it. But we can ignore him from now and use our BB wand to grab the chest in this room, giving us the remote. The remote acts as a way to change which way the gray blocks are without having to physically hit the switch. As long as the room has one of these little orb receptors, you can use this to change the blocks wherever you are. It can also be used in the very next room to take control of the snake. Controlling him, we need to play an actual game of Snake and eat up all these fruits to open up this door here, giving us the iridescent egg. I also solve another quick remote puzzle up here and grab myself the ice egg. This metal revelation has we go down to the other circular recess I found, as the E obviously stands for underwater eel. It's definitely eel. How do I kill him? His bubbles don't really seem to do anything. I tried fighting the eel with just about everything in my arsenal, but nothing seems to affect him at all. Not my yo-yo, not the slinky, not the lantern, not even the remote. This battle completely stumps me and has me just aimlessly running around hoping to somehow deal damage to him. But after around 15 minutes of sputtering, I finally realized something. Wait, is he making a song? Holy crap, he's making a song! Yes, for those who aren't following, each of the bubbles that he's spitting not only have a note associated with them, but they're also flying in a specific direction. So I write down the direction of all his bubbles and play them on my flute. I think I got it! Oh, it seems like I got it. Oh, yes! Holy crap, that makes you feel like a genius. My reward for solving that dastardly puzzle is the UV lantern. It's similar to the regular lantern, except it also shows hidden hints in the background all around the map. Like this sign here that tells me to use the top, which then opens up this little geyser. And get used to seeing things in this UV lighting, because I proceed to go through every single inch of the map with this thing turned on. But perhaps more valuable than that is the knowledge the eel room brought me as I headed into this seemingly normal crow room. Wait, this is the code too? Yes, these crows are aligned in the 8 cardinal directions of our animal flute, and by following which one is cawing and playing that on our flute... Sick! Oh my god, that felt incredible. Oh my god, I feel like a freaking genius. The UV lantern reveals this chart correlating to all of the directions of the animal flute with different directions, which I make sure to jot down. Additionally, on 1, 2, and 4, there are these little lines that seem to denote a top, middle, and bottom line. I have a theory that these relate to the lines present on all of the eggs we've collected thus far, possibly meaning we gotta play a whole song once we have them all? A 64-note song? What is this, a freaking symphony? And the lantern doesn't stop there, as on these doors by the clock are the numbers 300, 90, and 30. Which, no, you can't be serious. Could this be implying that I need to beat the game in 300 minutes, 90 minutes, and dear god, I can't even say it, 30 minutes? No, it can't be. I'm not doing a speedrun mode on a game that just came out. I won't, please. Upon starting a new file, I rush up these ladders and make sure to head to the right first. You see, you already need to head up to the left after hitting the 3 buttons, so going right first saves you a ton of time. After clicking the 3 buttons and grabbing the firecrackers, we can make on our way to the first section where we're allowed to choose our priority. After having done a couple of attempts of this already, I learned that the fastest route is to go and grab the bubble wand first, as it makes a lot of the other sections much easier. I race through all the rooms, with the only particularly annoying one being the seahorse fight, as it takes me a while to line up his bubbles with no yo-yo. After grabbing the bubble wand, I purposefully die. That way, I can teleport back to this central area and don't have to waste time trekking back. From here, I head towards the yo-yo, and with my mighty bubble wand, makes a ton of these sections easier. You can lose a lot of time if you die in the ostrich room, so make sure you're extra careful there. From there, I can grab my yo-yo, dodge this chameleon, and grab my slinky. Seeing as we have most of the game's items, and we've been making amazing time so far. It's been 21 minutes so far. We have 9 minutes left, and this is after an hour of practicing. But luckily, during this run, I get a Discord message from the game's creator himself, Billy Basso. And Billy tells me that you definitely do not have to do any repeat playthroughs. All of this was a huge waste of time, and worse than that, I feel dumber than any of my YouTube comments paint me out to be. Back in our main file, I discovered that using the remote inside our house changes the channel of the TV, with each channel displaying a different emotion. Using the emotion conversion chart from earlier, we can play a little song on our flute and grab ourselves another bunny. Feeling pretty lost on where to go from here, I scan through my entire map for any missing pixels that may denote secret rooms. I stamp them when I see them so I can do another run through the entire well with all my updated tools. The first place I go is actually back to the eel's lair, as I noticed that when you put the UV light on these jellyfish, they denote one of the 4 cardinal directions. Play them all together on the animal flute and nothing happens. Okay, maybe it's in Hebrew. Nope, right to left didn't work either. Turns out there's a hidden jellyfish that you can only see by taking a ride on this UV fish. I do not know why you can only step on him when holding a UV light, but I digress. Now playing the song teleports me back to the warp room, opening up an entrance from the eel section. Should I ever need to go back there? Okay, not an egg, but still nice, I guess. I missed this secret room here in the bubble room, which is surprising based on how long I was stuck in here, and this just contains a normal egg. I use the top near the entrance to the egg room, which warrants me the rain egg. While going through one of the first areas, I do manage to find this, I don't even know what this is. Looks like a fat bunny turned a bunch of trubbish into those statues from Brawl. Lore masters in the comments, someone figure this out. I headed back to this bun area from before, and the UV light reveals some arrows on the wall. When plugged into the animal flute, it reveals a hole, and inside is another bunny. You know, these things better be required for 100%, or I'm going to be livid that I found so many. Back in this room where I trapped the rat, I can use my bubbles to jump in there and grab myself the dream egg. Speaking of cheating, is it illegal to put a second subscribe call to action in this video? While I hired this harvest— What is this? Huh? What am I looking at here? It's a rabbit, and he's got, like, a couple full bottles and a couple not? The heck is that? Now it's kitty time as I search this entire area high and low for more codes to let these little tabbies out. After searching for longer than I'd like to admit, seriously, I'm just gonna say it took an hour here, but really it was more than double that. Most of the time being trying to get up this stupid jump with all the vines on it. Why is this so hard? This took me like a full 20 minutes itself to line up. The most frustrating part is that I know since this game is so well polished, this is not a game issue, it's genuinely a skill issue, and that makes it sting just that much more. Anyways, after getting all 5 codes and letting the cats free, I can use my top to enter this area here, and oh my god, that's a big cat. That was beautiful. And that beautiful song opens up a chest containing a wheel. Brick's a wheel. Oh my god, what the heck? Sick. I got a wheel. This wheel gives me the ability to cross the spikes in this room, allowing me to collect the scarlet egg. But that's not the wheel's only ability. Remember those little skate park things from earlier? Oh my freaking god. Yes. Using my newfound wheel's ability on these skate parks allows me to move these ostrich boxes once again and click both of these buttons. This unlocks a door to the golden egg. After that, I go to the right of these spinning orangutans and have to do another quickly timed slinky puzzle, giving me an egg, and then find another one by falling down the side of the main well enclosure. I take my wheel back to the me boxes from earlier and now can freely move them with my wheel. From there, I have to solve a relatively easy disc and fan puzzle, and my reward is the brick egg. With that completed, I wander around for a long time discovering nothing. So in order to protect my sanity, I decide to wait 2 days for the game to come out to the public. Then I can just hop into the Animal Discord. The good people there were nice enough to give me a couple hints on ways for me to progress. And my first priority was to grab the game's last remaining item. In order to do that, we need to track down that jerk kangaroo from one of the 5 locations he can spawn in at. When he goes to punch us, we instead throw down a firecracker, which scares him, and then he drops a fragment of the K metal. I do that 2 more times, then have a fully formed K metal. I can take this over to the kangaroo circular recess and obtain the last item in the game, the bouncy ball. The bouncy ball has this weird quirk where it typically bounces like a normal ball, but the second it hits one of these gray bricks it's meant to destroy, it goes blue and starts bouncing like a DVD video logo. Furthermore, if the ball then falls off screen, any bricks that were destroyed are instantly reformed, meaning you need to be accurate if you want to have any forward progress. I take out all the boxes and grab myself the vanity egg. If you're paying attention, those boxes look familiar to you, and yes, this is finally the solution to the mystery box that eluded me throughout this entire playthrough. Once up here, I had to throw the bouncy ball into the chamber and use the remote to trap it in there, getting me a secret passage to click a button. After clicking 2 more easy buttons, I grab myself the crystal egg. From there, I find this little stone platform, and if I use my disc to fly off it, I can fly all the way to this spot in the well and grab myself the truth egg. I go back through the weenie dog area and find this little alcove, which gives me the sour egg. Then I go into this room and play my flute, and a bunch of turtles show up. Why? I don't know. How are you supposed to know that? I don't know. But Billy Basso must have known how insidious of an egg this is, as it is aptly called the evil egg. I teleport down to the fish entrance and find that if I use the remote at the foot of this wall, I actually fall down into a little room here. I need to time a disc toss across to have myself fly through the spikes and grab myself the galaxy egg. Just one room over, if you destroy these spikes, you can use your top to destroy this ground and pick up the sunset egg. Back in the pipe shark room from earlier, you can take a shark that I never went inside for whatever reason and grab yourself another egg in the pitch black room. I head back to the rat forms as someone said I should try going past where it seems like they exit. My best and only guess on how to do that is using the disc between the 2 platforms, allowing you to stay both afloat and low enough from the ceiling. But this takes a lot of tries, just trying to nail the timing over and over and over again. Finally, after several minutes of trying, I managed to nail the jump onto my disc and pick up the obsidian egg. I grab a couple eggs that were just lying around, like really, I'm not sure how I missed these, until we get to the breakout egg. For this one, we control this little platform down here, and we need to destroy all of the blocks above us using the bouncy ball to hit them. And we're able to move this platform to direct them. But because of the quirk of the bouncy ball, if it falls into the water, you have to start all over again. This takes a ton of trial and error, as it's insanely easy for a ball to just be hit at an awkward angle and fall into the water. But after 10 minutes of attempts... Yes, okay, just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Not messing this one up. Oh, thank you. Screw you, neon egg. Now it's time to collect the game's very last egg. There's a raccoon here trapped behind a wall, so you need to throw a firecracker near the glass to scare him away, forcing him to step on the switch. Yes! Find all the secret eggs. Oh my god. Egg room. What's gonna happen? I'm so curious. It's opening! The 65th egg. Huh? But now that I have all the eggs, if I put my UV light on them, I can see their different lines. Using the wheel chart from earlier, we know that the 3 lines have values of 1, 2, or 4 depending on their position. So if an egg has all 3, we can add that together and know that it's equal to 7. If you do this for every single egg, you can create a 64-note song. Yes, seriously. I was not joking before. And as hard as it is to count all of these out, the more stressful part is playing a 64-note sequence without messing up. And if you do mess up, you have no idea which egg you wrote down the wrong number for. Luckily, it only takes me 3 short tries before I nail the egg song. This opens up a door to the right of the egg room, which gives us the office key. If we take the key to our house and unlock the top floor, we get access to an office. There's not much here besides a computer and a printer. Upon clicking on it, nothing seems to happen. But then suddenly I hear noises coming from my real-life printer. What is going on? What is this? Why is it printing? What the heck is this? What am I looking at here? Yes, Animal Well has printed origami to my printer. Unfortunately, I had no ink in my printer, so I had to go to Staples to reprint it. From there, it was time to get folding. And if you thought this was going to be a 1-2 boom, I made an origami dog, you've got another thing coming. This has a whopping 24 steps. It starts off with me cutting the paper and then making some minor folds. The instructions have no text at all, just some loose looking diagrams, so it's actually quite confusing as to what you're actually supposed to do. What the frick am I looking at? What does this mean? What could that possibly mean? Step 5? What does that mean? What am I looking at? I do my best to just sort of guess what it is I have to do. It's okay, Farley. Just go sit down. I'm working right now. Just sit down. Sit down, please. Then he wants me to fold this back? I'm doing pretty good with my guesswork until step 16. And then he... What the freak? Then draw the rest of the owl. What is this? Draw the rest of the owl. What the frick are you talking about? What the heck is that? After struggling with this for a bit longer, I finish up. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what I have. I just wouldn't really say this looks like a bunny in any capacity. All right, I gotta start over. What the freak? Something went wrong while I was trying to fold them. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. Luckily, I printed 2 extra copies, and I needed them both, but finally on my 3rd attempt, I start to get the hang of things. You see, the red lines on the diagram are the giant lines on the paper. This makes orienting the paper 10,000 times easier. I think I have made a bunny. Yeah! Heck yeah. It looks like a bunny. Kind of. Definitely looks more like a bunny in the actual thing, but I think I did an okay job. So now, what do I do from here? So it looks like each part of the bunny has a number on it. So maybe if I plug those into the flute, then that'll work for a code. So if you didn't catch that, there's a diagram that gives each bunny a sequential number. Then on the actual bunny, there are a bunch of numbers. I write down a code following the order of the sequential numbers. Then I use a number wheel to correlate each number to a flute input in my house. I play the song and... You're joking! Oh my god, that actually worked! What the heck? That's awesome! What the heck? I can't believe that actually just worked. Oh look, it put a bunch of origami figures here. I do not think that did anything for me, but it was cool. While that was no doubt one of the coolest things I've ever done in a video game, it was absolutely not required for 100%. It did give me a bunny, but as I'm sure most of you have guessed by now, those are just an extra little bonus. In fact, as of writing this, community still doesn't even know what having all the bunnies does, nor have they discovered all the bunnies. But at least I got this cute little guy to guard my desk now. But with all that closed away, we only have 3 achievements left. The first one is to die to a chinchilla. Now you might be wondering, chinchilla? What the heck is that? Well, apparently these things I've been calling raccoons the whole video are actually chinchillas. Yes, we have both been deceived, and I have no doubt received countless comments about it from people who didn't finish the video. The next one is sneak up on us as a squirrel. And since we've already been in the game, there are no more squirrels on this file, so I need to start a brand new one. I try sneaking up on this guy so many times, and every time he runs away. Like, look at all these attempts. Turns out that you will never be able to reach him here. The best way to try and sneak up on this rodent over here is in the slinky area. Here, he's got nowhere to run, so after a couple save resets, I managed to sneak up on him, leaving just 1 achievement left. For this one, we need to leave the well. Obviously, I have no idea what that means. In fact, no one knows what this means, as there's not a single tweet, article, or Reddit thread about getting this achievement. I sit in the Animal Well Discord for over an hour, desperately trying to get a response from anyone. Somebody in the Animal Discord, put pity on me, please. Please, look at this. I can't take it anymore. How I leave the well. No one will respond to my messages, please. But finally, my savior, Dropped Ostrich, comes in like a knight on a noble white stallion and tells me to take a look through the original Manticore arena with my UV light. After opening up these bricks with my top, I find a box that I can move out with the wheel and a special fruit that heals me to full and gives me 2 soul hearts. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. On the other side of the arena, I can open up another room with my top. Place egg. Oh, the 65th egg. What the freak? Oh my god, the man's back! Bro, man's back. Man's back indeed, and I have no idea how to kill him this time. So after enduring the Manticore stalking for a bit, I realize I need to go back into the room where I summoned him. Here, I can have him shoot his lasers at this glass wall, breaking it. Then I have to use the bouncy ball and the remote to get through the final warp organ. What do I do? I cannot believe that actually worked. What the heck? The Manticore ate me? What the frick is going on? Huh? What the heck? I left the well, yes! The last achievement, 100%. What? I'm the Manticore now? What? Why am I the Manticore? What? After the credits play, I continue moving right for a while, like a long while, until finally I reach an island. The bunnies. Disembark. Oh, I was riding inside of the Manticore. Because I tamed him now. Oh, okay. So I thought it became him. Oh, the Manticore. He's chilling with the bunny. And with that, we've tamed the Manticore and brought peace back to the well, having fully 100%ed the game. So what did I think? In short, this game is a masterpiece. From the incredible aesthetic, the inventive gameplay mechanics, the incentive to explore, this is genuinely the most fun I've ever had playing a Metroidvania. It gives me the same feeling when I played Mario Odyssey for the first time, where I have all these tools at my disposal, and I can only imagine the full range of movement once a pro puts them together. And the funny part is, there's still loads more to discover in the well. More bunnies are being discovered every day. Turns out the clock is for a speedrunning mode that gives you additional cosmetics, not to mention the game has a full ARG that hasn't been solved yet, and to top it all off, there are Easter eggs in every single individual copy of the game that fans need to piece together to solve a final puzzle. My only issue is the same complaint I have with pretty much every Metroidvania, and that some of the secrets are just like dumb, like these turtles, like what was up with that, Mr. Passo? But because these secrets are so hard to find when you find them, you feel like an absolute genius when you do. Animal Well is unlike any game I've played in my entire life, and I cannot recommend it enough. And most amazing of all, this game really makes you feel like an animal well.